All right, guys, welcome back to another Complexity Cast presentation. I'm your casting host, Beef, bringing you Complexity versus tdM here in the HoN Tour Diamond Cycle 1, so winner bracket semifinals match. And to join me for this very special series is a very special man. He's Brized, a.k.a. Emperor, from Domain of Pain, joining me for another cast.
But not quite the Bashi yet. Still working on that one.
You are still trying to be the Boshi?
I am still trying to be the Bashi, yes.
The Boshi?
Give me another few days on that one. Boshi, Bashi, whatever the hell it is.
Tomato, tomato, ketchup, potato, whatever you want to call them. Are you ready to get this game going? I can't wait anymore to get this game started. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to get this replay started in 3, 2,
1. Okay. I actually took your previous countdown as, all right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, what?
Okay, well, fuck it. Excuse my language. Rewind it, start again, do one more countdown.
Okay, I'm at 0-0 still.
You're at 0-0.
596, 31, 23. We good?
Yeah, okay. You do the countdown, let's go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I missed.
Done.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm good.
Okay.
All right, guys, we are here with Trademark versus Complexity, game number 1, and we do actually get to bring you the picking banning phase here. It's not an all-pick game remake like we've seen in a couple of the last games, but going to be very fun to see. Like, what do you expect? I need one hero right here that you think is going to come out that we would not expect.
I would like to say Balfagor because I've seen tdM run him. I've seen Complexity dabble a little bit in the Balfagor, but I mean, that would be one. But can we truly say we don't expect that? Another hero that we might not expect, Succubus, is a hero that Complexity is known to run from here and there. It usually catches people off guard.
B-Kid's actually run that Succubus a couple of times recently against tdM, and to be honest, they've lost every game with it. So it'll be interesting to see if they do that.
I didn't think it was because of the Succubus.
No,
though.
not necessarily.
Oh, you know what? Heroes like Silhouette lose games too. Heroes like Wild Soul lose games. And when you only see a very small sample size of a hero like Succubus, just because they lose doesn't mean that the hero is bad. A lot of people are quick to blame the unconventional hero draft for a loss. And a lot of times it actually truly isn't the case.
Very, very true. And of course, you know who doesn't lose, though? Moon Queen.
Moon Queen doesn't lose.
Doesn't
that lock, that huge nuking power, great carry power, pretty much a built-in Battle Fury later on. She offers a lot. Her laning phase is a little bit weak, and there are ways to get around her, but she's a very powerful hero.
Okay. Well, we're already well into this picking banning stage. We do, in fact, have blind bans coming out, Parasite and Tempest for Complexity. Wild Soul and Keeper of the Forest on the other side. tdM's ban's a little bit more standard. Parasite, a standard B-Kid ban, of course, but Tempest making it into the blind banning phase. What's up with that one?
Well, Minot's Tempest is sort of renowned for being very powerful. I mean, he plays all those junglers very well, but a lot of word is always thrown about it that Minot's Tempest, much like you hear the Chessie Ophelia, the Bryce Warbeast, things like that thrown around. So, Tempest, probably just more to address how strong tdM is with that hero. People consider Keeper of the Forest a counter to Tempest quite a bit, but I've seen tdM, even against Keeper of the Forest, really rep Tempest hard, so.
Okay. Now, I just have to check. Did you just say a Brized Warbeast?
Maybe.
Did you really just tout yourself?
I'll let we'll move past that.
You're a pretty good Warbeast. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Maybe a Bryce Cthulhu fan. You got to bring that hero back into the metagame. I saw didn't work out so well the last time you were playing Complexity, but of course
I had a positive KDR at the end of the game.
Okay.
Skills and assists, that's all I'm saying.
Lockpick coming out here. First lock is in fact Bubbles here for Complexity. Glacius Legionnaire following up for Trademark, rounding it out with a Pharaoh Ophelia for Complexity, and one more Demented Shaman actually make it into the lock bowl, and the bird's not banned so far. So DS could very well be picked up in addition to the bird for tdM, something that they've been very, very keen to use.
Yeah, DS lock instigating that Balfagor ban right away in response. I don't think we would have seen that ban necessarily snap banned like that without the DS lock. Also, yeah, as you said, the weight of Zephyr is increased now because of the DS. I don't necessarily think, DS obviously does synergize incredibly well with Zephyr, but even outside of that, maybe it pressures complexity to pick the hero, maybe it pressures them to ban it here, and using that, maybe tdM can play a little bit more of a mind game. Oh, there's a Zephyr ban. There we go.
Okay.
In the drafting phase, because maybe they know a lot of those bans are going to be used now to consume heroes like Belphegor, like Zephyr. Because
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So BKit actually had first pick there. If they had not banned that Zephyr and tdM had not banned the Zephyr, not fallen for the mind games even, they might have been able to first pick the bird as well as Demented Shaman.
Right, but they're looking, I think, for Ophelia out of the lock pool here.
Okay.
And with a hero like Keeper banned, with Tempest banned, the weight of a Ophelia in the jungle goes way, way up.
All right. Well, it's always interesting to speculate about the mind games going on during this locking picking phase, which I think I can say with certainty I like quite a bit more than the old banning pick phase. There's certainly a lot of strategy that goes into this one. And
It is a lot easier to talk about from a casting perspective as well. There is more to talk about earlier.
for sure. If you're going to have a 10-minute picking phase, then I would prefer it be this. Wow, snap picks coming out of over there. Fade first picked here by Complexity. She did make it through all the banning phases and going to be picked up. Oh, wow. So they're moving quickly. On the other side, Dark Lady as well as Minot's picking up Plague Rider right there.
Yeah, Minot's, their team had to be very aware. I'm sure they already knew he was going NG as that draft when they opted for the Plague TDL. If you see a Fade come out, NG is pretty much the go-to support you're going for in the mid lane. Incredibly powerful. That knockback, double nukes, incredibly powerful level 2 combination between those heroes in general. So, yeah, that was expected, and they're apparently not afraid of it.
All right. What do you think is going to be the third pick here for Complexity? They've already got their middle lane set up with that Fade and Engineer.
Third pick from Complexity. They're going to be looking at a jungler here first out of the lock phase, probably the Ophelia. If Ophelia would be very strong, they have the Suicide
So
lock.
probably a carry.
They might need to just pick their. So they have a Pharaoh and a Bubbles. They don't necessarily need to pick a Suicide. Probably just their carry. Yeah, their solo lane.
Now they're taking quite a bit of time here. We do, of course, have Forsaken Archer available. They go with a Mage Bane, though. So this is something that gets picked up every now and again by Complexity. Hackshin, of course, extremely comfortable with the hero, but one that we don't see out of really a whole lot of teams other than Complexity in recent days. 6 months ago, you might have been saying, what, you don't see a Mage Bane? Yeah, not too often.
2 words in my book. Mage Bane owns.
Mage Bane's
I still think the hero is incredibly viable. He get nerfed, but yeah, he just has sort of been a little bit underpicked lately. Definitely still a usable draft, though.
He's got an incredible attack point. I tell you what, his attack animation is fantastic.
The base attack time on him is one of the lowest in the game.
I think
if not the lowest.
I think it might be the lowest in the game.
Well, you're looking at things like, I'm not sure if War Beast level, his ultimate might put him lower. I'm not sure, but
Maybe. But we're already getting pretty deep in here. The third pick for tdM is, in fact, a Luna, bringing out the strong support. Following that up into the lockpick phase. First pick, Ophelia. tdM has let Complexity have a very Complexity-esque lineup, almost saying, do whatever you want. We're just going to do better. And so tdM gets a team they're comfortable with. Complexity gets a team they're comfortable with. And, well, how do things really stack up? Bubbles and Legionnaire finish it up for tdM, and Pharaoh the last pick out of Complexity. Taking a look at both of these teams, I mean, who's got what advantage?
I like Complexity's team a little bit better. I say this a lot, and I think Ophelia is a little bit stronger than jungle than Legionnaire. That's fine. There's ways to get around it. If they had a Glacius, Ophelia is a little bit more mitigated in the jungle, whatever. But more so, I do love Pharaoh against Dark Lady. I talk about it a lot, and TDL cannot blink out of the Pharaoh walls if she gets hooked in, if she gets trapped by the mummy walls. It is a pathing-based spell, so she actually can't escape. And in the middle of the team fight, even with a shrunken head, a well-placed mummy wall can disrupt TDL's combo, making her leap in, get pushed back, and wind up doing nothing. So I actually love Pharaoh a lot against the TDL. The rockets, in addition, providing him some vision, even if she does get the Cloak of Darkness off. Yeah, so I actually like both teams a lot. They both have initiation, team fight, carry, pretty decent lanes. They have all the bases covered, but I see Complexities as just a little bit stronger.
Really? Now, I was going to go ahead and say the other way around. I think that tdM definitely has that strong carry taken care of, but Legionnaire, that's really the X factor here for me. If Ophelia is not successful in that early game, she's not nearly as effective in the mid and later game portions as this Legionnaire, who's able to get in there with that portal key, get the great initiation, lock down a hero like that Magebane, and free up his own carry as well as the supports to get their work done.
It is true, but I mean, a player like Chessie knows how to play Ophelia. If he's not able to get those ganks off, he will hit his level 6 in due time, and I feel like they know full well how to play with an Ophelia by now. On top of that, Fade Pharaoh, very excellent gank synergy. If Fade winds up getting a pick off, which is not for her too hard for her to do against these sort of squishy heroes on the tdM side, if Fade gets a pick off, you're looking at an easy tower push for Ophelia.
All right. Well,
that's in my book. I think both teams are very. I am wrong.
I'm right.
I think both teams are very capable. Real quick here, I saw some questions about it in chat. Attack animation is not the same as base attack cooldown. Base attack cooldown will actually affect how much of an effect attack speed has on your attacks, and Magebane is lower than a lot of the other heroes in the game. And even Warbeast, when you do the ulti, his base attack cooldown does change. Anyway, moving forward.
Grinix, the new hero, actually has one that rivals Magebane, I believe, and a Luna, of course, with the strongest base attack cooldown there for the ranged heroes, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
It's part of what makes her very, very strong with her harass, as we already see, putting out some strong harass here in the top lane. Now, Fade and Engineer not going for that middle lane. They, in fact, opt to go top, where Pharaoh's going to stack up one-on-one against Bubbles in the mid lane.
Yeah, if I was tdM in this top lane, I'd be looking to try to counter ward as soon as possible against this tri lane, although, now that I'm saying about it, I don't really think that would do too much. With the combination like Fade, Engie, Ophelia aggressively, I don't even think they could wind up getting a pull if they wanted to. So, yeah, we're seeing some of the weakness there early on of Legionnaire when facing an Ophelia, especially with that sort of dual, the hard carry lane top. Legionnaire can't offer any support. He got pushed out of the jungle, and now Complexity has control of the mid and top lane as a result.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job so far. I marvel sometimes at the ability of great Ophelia players to get work done. She dominated a Vulture Lord, and I would say, yeah, I'm a Vulture Lord, yeah, whatever. But she actually used that to not only force Legionnaire out of the lane, but then to farm a double stack. Farming a double stack at level 1 using that Vulture Lord with effective kiting using that Tornado. Great job there for Chessie.
She can actually do a lot more work than that, too. So, yeah, she can actually farm one of those hard camps double stacked easily, triple stacked with that Tornado if you use it right. So
yeah, that's what she was doing, was the hard camp Minotaur Catman Champion pack at level 1 there with the Vulture Lord. So getting some good farm there on that Ophelia. Now she dominates a Minotaur and wants to come up here and get this gank in top lane. But tdM showing once again that they're quite able to deflect these ganks from Ophelia relatively early. When these two teams played in the finals of the... Go ahead.
So, no, real quick, you're saying able to deflect the ganks, but I must say, although no one's getting ganked right now, when Ophelia is missing, when Engineer is missing the side here, and tdM doesn't have any wards up, that is instantly providing lane control and resource control to all the surrounding lanes.
That's true, and a Burning Shadows actually comes in onto a Luna right there. Engineer wants to come in as well, but they're not quite able to get the gank set up. But like you said, a solo Fade in that lane, soaking up all that experience, is able to get last hits because the Engineer and the Ophelia are there in the side lanes. They're not on the map, and so Dark Lady has to play very far back. Dark Lady sitting at only 8-1 CS right now. A lot of that coming out of Taint Souls as well as the Hatchet throw. Not quite able to get into the lane and get all the CS that he wants.
Yeah, and Magebane actually, I wasn't quite sure how the Plague Rider versus Magebane matchup would go, and apparently it's playing out quite favorably for Haxer here in the bottom lane.
Middle lane, Bubbles taking a little bit of pressure as the nuke comes out of the Catman Champion as well as the auto attacks. Ophelia has to fall back though as she takes a few attacks from that tower. And Dark Lady even in a little bit of trouble up top. Looks like she took a Burning Shadows, followed up with a keg and possibly even a turret there. Yeah, Noob G has to get back once again. Insania has retreated into the jungle as well, trying to provide cover from this Ophelia, but Chessie doing a good job getting the outmaneuver here. And might even be looking to set up a gank once again, although Luna does have a ward and is now going to be used that to provide cover from those jungle ganks.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and we're looking at here, and tdM really cannot do anything to respond to this early game aggression from Complexity. Not yet. Not until Plague hits 6, not until Bubbles hit 6.
Oh,
Maybe.
Hasted Legionnaire down here in the bottom lane. They're going to be teaming up on the Moon Meander on that Pharaoh, and the Hellfire doing work, but he is going to go down. A rocket being shot out to the top lane with his dying breath, but not going to actually hit. Oh, just kidding. It's going to actually hit Noob G. So Moon Meander gives up first blood on that Pharaoh middle lane.
Yeah, great job by Minots rowing there. Often you see a hasted Legionnaire, ganking early game, running the river there, and the opposite lane of the initial jungle that he was in. He did a great job. So
yeah, gets that roam on and secures first blood for his team, which actually did go to limp on the bubbles, so that's going to be very nice for his middle lane matchup. Of course, both players sitting on their bottles now, but limp with the level 6 earlier. He's looking pretty strong, even throwing out a Shell Surf offensively, just pushing that lane back a little more and forcing Moon to take a sip of that bottle charge.
Minot's doing a great job. They're leveling up pretty quickly in the enemy woods, too. Already 2 levels above the Ophelia, who when Ophelia forced him to walk across the map. And if you look here, he just hit level 5, and he's already killing another stack of Wild Hunters.
Yeah, Legionnaire continues to jungle well. Now Ophelia, the offensive jungle here, for Complexity has already taken out the tower. Legion actually gets credit for that one. Beacon not able to get the last hit, but with the tower down already in that top lane, Complexity is going to have a lot of room to gank that middle and of course roam through the jungle. So Legionnaire is going to have a hard time getting back to his safe jungle, and if they so choose to roam into the Legion jungle, Legionnaire might easily get caught out. Going boots first just to try to have some additional mobility, make sure that he doesn't get ganked.
Yeah. Interesting to see this Mage Bane sitting at 320 GPM in spite of 11 denies coming out from Zai. I mean, pretty much every hit. Oh my god.
Oh.
Finally Zai forcing him out of the lane. Very close. Not enough mana for the ulti there. He's just getting a little bit of lane control.
Yeah, I was watching Hacks and I was like, oh god, he might die. We haven't really talked about this lane too much.
Legionnaire.
Yeah, Legionnaire is going to come in, drops the terrifying charge, but unfortunately unable to secure the taunt. Does he not? He didn't try to taunt. Actually, the Wrath of the Fair are going to come in as well as the Money Wall. The Illusion Rune is activated, but Minots does activate the taunt right there, and he looks like he's going to be able to get away. Yeah. Nice try from
I was told by the chat, too, I did miss this one. Tail picked it up. I didn't quite catch it early on, but Ophelia did pull Mage Bane 2 additional regen items.
So that's nice. I mean, we haven't really been looking at
that is...
Minots goes in again. The ultimate going to be coming out from Plague Rider. No Contagion nuke available, though, and with one more TP in, Fade might be able to set up a counter gank here. Burning Shadows is going to come out. Mage Bane going offensive onto the Plague Rider, and they're going to look for a double tap. Haxford wants to finish off Plague, but instead they're just going to settle for Legionnaire. Minots hits the floor, and credit goes to Moon Meander. So gets his revenge for giving up first blood, and the hero kill score is equalized.
Yeah, and now sitting on a very comfortable gold advantage for Haxorin relative to the TDL, almost 100 GPM above it. I think a large part of this game is going to be decided by the Runed Axe timing between TDL, between Mage Bane. Depending on which one gets theirs first, it's going to set the pace of the game a lot.
And of course, Complexity is in a substantial gold lead at this point. 2,000 gold, 8 minutes into the game. Haxorin farming 300 GPM as opposed to the 223 of Dark Lady, who was forced out of lane very, very early in this game and has been trying to go through the jungle, rotate between middle and top lanes, getting farm wherever she can. In fact, doesn't even have boots at this point, just the life tube. So going to be working toward a quick sustainer, trying to prevent any harass from coming out, but look to pick up those boots relatively soon.
Yes, indeed. Now, TDL should be... I mean, they do have a Fade still, and I don't know if she's going to be going for the fast Runed Axe here or not. I don't see her with boots. I don't see her with anything else. So she will be gankable by Fade, and she does have the lane pretty much free to static farm from here on out, now that the tower is down. But even still, Mage Bane is looking pretty uncontested down there on bottom.
Fade has picked up phase boots as well as activating her reflection here. 6 seconds left on it as she's going to walk into Legionnaire. She wants him to attack those creeps and opens up with the Burning Shadows as well as the coL, and down he goes. Fade takes home that kill, making sure not to be snagged. We even saw the attack animation cancel. Wanted to make sure she got that and not the neutral creeps. Great job by B-Kid.
Yeah, that makes me angry just watching it. I can't count the number of times I've been, farming a neutral camp. Yeah, and then all of a sudden Fade jumps you right as the neutrals begin to aggro you. Maybe it's a double stack. You start taking all of the auto attacks from the camp on top of the Fades, on top of the auto attacks from Fade, and it's just, oh god, I know that feeling all too well.
A lot of pauses just came out there. I want to make sure we're still in sync because it did freeze up for a second. I'm at 9:30.
Same here. I'm at 9:33.
Okay, pause for 1 second so we can just get synced up. I'm a couple seconds behind you.
Okay, I'm pausing. It is 9:40.
Alrighty. Alright, I'm paused. You ready to get going again?
Yep.
Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a desync as a result of what appeared to be about 5 pauses in a row. Okay, let's get the replay started again in 3, 2, 1, go. 42, 43.
Yep, perfect.
Great. All right, so get back into this one. Fade doing a great job there, but like you said, so frustrating to actually get ganked like that. Mynuts does come back over here, lands the taunt, and in comes the charge from Dark Lady Decapitate, and Fade's going to be taking the fall there. B-Kid gets the kill, but then immediately gets turned around upon and falls again. We must have gone through something kind of weird there because it didn't seem like Legionnaire should have been back up that fast. But
yeah, we must have just skipped ahead in time a little bit when we were going forward. He was a pretty low level still. His cooldown to revive was pretty short. Yeah.
Another pause coming out here and should be skipping pretty easily. So
yeah,
skips right there. And man, it just aggravates me when you die to neutral creep, something like that, especially against Devour when he's able to get a deny off on himself. Irritating.
Oh, Devour denies. Yeah, that is, especially when they grab a blood chalice.
Oh, it's the worst.
And, oh my, I cannot deal with that right now.
Yeah.
All right, so Plague Rider looking a little bit of danger here. Fade's opening up on her, followed by the Mage Ring blinking. That should be a secured kill for Mage. Oh, actually into the hands of Fade. Either way, great pick off.
Yeah, gets his time. That level 8 Plague Rider going to be giving out a bounty of experience in gold, 240 gold to be exact. And with that, they're going to be looking to push down this tower. Ophelia makes her way over. Chessie controlling 2 Minotaurs for the time being. No Skeleton Kings just yet. And 1 Minotaur going to be dragging the creeps off into the Ancients. Mynuts in the jungle in trouble again as Moon Meander utilizes the Wrath of the Pharaoh as well as an auto attack from Franzi. Tagging that one, make sure to get that extra assist gold. And down goes Mynuts as well as the tower in the bottom lane. Going to be up by 4,000 gold now. Complexity looking strong.
I talked about the Fade Pharaoh synergy, but actually Engineer and Pharaoh have quite a bit of synergy as well. Not only because the Pharaoh allows good initiation, which buys Engineer good room to place an ulti, but also because the turret plus mummy walls, it can be pretty hard to get a full duration turret off in fights, and mummy walls makes it incredibly easy to do so. Used to actually be a pretty popular combo back about, I want to say almost 2 years ago. The Fade Pharaoh, the Engineer Pharaoh on teams, and it's like seeing a little bit of a resurgence here.
Was that before or after the Engineer change?
This is after the Engineer change to making Engie more of a support hero.
Oh,
but
man.
The support turret was still very powerful, but you looked, if you get that Engie and that Pharaoh, you were looking at an almost unbeatable lineup. So
yeah, Engineer, of course, before he got that rework. One of the stronger carries in the game with that turret.
It was 2 carries.
Yeah, exactly. A very strong hero. Fade skulking around again with that reflection active, not able to scout anybody out and grab another kill just yet. B-Kid making sure to remain very active in this game. If we take a look at his CS, 34 and 12, but almost all of that, if not all of that, has in fact been in the lane. Now, Moonmander is actually right next to a Ward of Revelation. He gets attacked by a ranged creep here, so he should know that he's been scouted out, and a nuke confirms it. Still might go on to Zai over here, though. Could probably get a kill relatively easily, although they're not sure if Plague has the ultimate up or not. Francie activating the ultimate in the middle lane after taking a kelp field. A little bit of a standoff and an exchange of cooldowns there.
Yeah, not too much big of a loss. So even if it was sort of quote-unquote wasted on NG, whatever, they'll void fights for the... Actually, how long is that cooldown? 85-second cooldown? 85... They actually are equal cooldown ultimates. Exactly the same, so... Yeah, nothing wrong with using it as a defensive measure. Just backing out safely.
Reminds me of like a duel from the old Western days where both players empty all 6 rounds. Or both combatants empty all 6 rounds and neither person hits anything. It's like,
right.
Well, we'll be back here tomorrow at noon and go again. Or they just say, whatever. Whatever. I forgive you for your indiscretions, and I'm on out of here.
Rune Axe is completed by Noob G, by the way. He does have the 2,400 gold completed. He is going to finish it before Mage Bane. They're actually sitting at almost equal GPM here. I did talk about whoever had the Rune Axe first, a little bit of an advantage, but it is true. He does have his Steam Boots already completed on Mage Bane, so TDL still has a little bit of catch up to go through.
Yeah, Luna actually gets caught out right there by a hasted Pharaoh. Wrath of the Pharaoh used as well as Mummy, Wall, Hellfire, and the Tormented Soul to secure that one. They're not done just yet, as there's actually another team fight brewing up here. Minot's caught out once again. Ophelia's gift going off, healing up those creeps. The Mummy Wall is activated, and Limp not able to get out of there just yet. He doesn't have a Shell Surf available. He used that already, so gets locked down, and Complexity picks up 3 easy kills right there.
3 total kills in the end, yes.
A deep ward being dropped now by Franzi in this middle lane, so they're looking to push not 1 but 2 towers. Ophelia, with the strong pushing combination of the Minotaurs and the Catman champions, they should be able to easily take this first one. We'll see if they go for another. Tormented Soul comes out as well as a keg, a nice keg, and Franzi might be able to pick this one up with the assistance of Pharaoh and Chessie on that Ophelia. Easy kill onto Insania. Luna gonna
not to keep going on about the hero synergy and the counter picks and all that, but they also have an Ophelia against the Plague Rider. 1 click of that R sort of mitigates a lot of what Plague Rider's ulti does, combined with the fact that they have those creeps for it to bounce between.
We talk about that all the time with Plague Rider, and having those minions, whether it's an Ophelia or a Tempest or a Keeper of the Forest, in this case, Ophelia providing quite a bit of support and a little bit of a counter. So nice job with additional drafting there. Dark Lady sitting on that Rune Axe still does not have any boots, and I'm surprised that Noob G has not been ganked at all on this Dark Lady. You'd think that sitting on a naked Rune Axe, she would have been killed at least once by this Pharaoh or this Fate.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing pretty careful. They did have wards up protecting him top. They had heroes sort of sitting around him, allowing him to get that early farm, so he's just been really careful about where he's been farming and not overextending his welcome, so...
Now, Haxrin is in fact TPing to the bottom lane over here, and he's about 600 gold off of that Rune Axe himself, but he has in fact finished up the Steam Boots already. So one could say that he might be farming a little bit better. He's in fact 60 GPM higher than his carry equivalent on the tdM side. And once he gets that Rune Cleaver, it should be able to take off quite substantially with the ganking-oriented team surrounding him. Might not have to play just as scared, although Noob G comes in with the terrifying charge. In comes the Shell Surf, Song of the Sea Field combination. The decapitation goes out, but not enough. They actually, it looks like that auto attack chased him through that blink and was able to finish him off, though.
Oh, actually, yeah, the Bubbles auto attack did. Was it the Kelp Field or was it the auto attack in the end?
I want to say it was the auto attack because it looked like it was slightly delayed, and I think the Kelp Field had already expired at that point.
I see. Yeah, meanwhile, Zai did get picked off mid by the Pharaoh, by the Engineer, by the Ophelia, and as we talked about, get 1 pick off with Ophelia, and that's going to be an instant tower push, and there it goes.
Yeah, getting that mid tower, they did lose Haxrin, and of course that bottom lane, and well, you got to deal with what you got to deal with, making the best of a bad situation there for Complexity. They got the pick off on the Zai and the mid tower, so not a bad trade tower respect, but losing your carry, that's not something that you want to have to deal with. They're even going to go for the next one up here in the top lane, which would be a total of 5 outer tower kills for Complexity, and it looks like they might be able to do it. Actually, a lot of cooldowns being expended, pushing back the creep wave, and I wouldn't be surprised to see tdM maybe try to initiate here, knowing that some are down, but no. The tower falls, Complexity backs off, and tdM continues to play passive, not wanting to get too involved for the time being.
Yep. Mage Bane, did he just finish up his Rune Axe finally? I think it's flying out to him right now.
Just picked up the second broadsword, so... Yep.
So him and TDL sitting around neck and neck in farm. Yeah, he already has the Steam Boots, now he has the Rune Axe too, but they're overall pretty much at the same point in this game. If you go ahead and look at the supports, though, look at the other heroes, they are really flushed out compared to the tdM side.
Yeah. Franzi's actually at 260 GPM right now on Engineer. We talk about this all the time, the ability of supports to get farm. Franzi's at 0, 0, and 5, so not even taking kills, but he's done well for himself. 25 creep kills, involvement with those 5 assists, and of course, getting 5 hero or tower kills from your team at 18 minutes in certainly helps, but he's able to get some additional farm so that he can get his warding job done, but also have some nice items. He's got a bracer and even picks up a void talisman right there. When you're having those kind of items on your support at 20 minutes in, you're in a pretty good position.
Oh man, a void, that is an incredible amount of stats coming out. He's got the bracer pickup, the fortified bracer, he's got the bolstering armlet, he's got the void talisman for even more stats, the power supply, even more stats. Looking at 1200 HP support hero at 19 minutes into the game with physical damage immunity. Totally counters TDL.
Oh, Wrath of the Pharaoh used right there on Dark Lady. She does charge immediately out of the Maul of Mummies, though. And Hellfire is activated on a hasted Pharaoh. They're trying to finish him off, but not quite able to. A pause was requested here by Haxer, and his B-Kid has been timed out for about 30 seconds. tdM not granting it just yet, and there the pause will go through, but we're going to skip through it as it is a replay. Minets might be in a little bit of trouble here as the Engineer comes down, grabs one of the creep kills, and even knocks away Legionnaire, forcing him back just a tiny bit.
Did you see which one of the creeps he killed?
It looked like it was the big one. The big dragon, that is. So, yeah. That's it was one of the two dragons. Maybe a small one, maybe a big one, but I think it was the center one. So,
well, it's payday for Engineer. He's almost on Steam Boots as well, on top of the old items we mentioned before, so...
Yep.
Wowza.
Stupidly good farm here for Franzi. He's actually very close to eclipsing Chessie in terms of farm, and he's very close to eclipsing Legionnaire as well on the other team. So
he's close to eclipsing the entirety of the Hellborn team as well.
Yeah, that's true. So Complexity, of course, is in a strong position, 8,300 gold lead and a 2,800 experience lead. Looking great in that respect. Moonmeander with the Helm of the Black Legion to complement his Steam Boots, as well as that power supply and the Shaman's Headdress. So looking very tanky on that Pharaoh. Not surprising that he's willing to dive pretty deep in this game.
Indeed. What do you reckon he's going to be going for next here on Pharaoh? Would he go a straight Barrier Idol, or do you think he's going to go for something like a Hellflower, Barbed Armor, or pick up more along those lines?
I think that a Barrier Idol would be nice to have against the enemy team. That Plague Rider ultimate, of course, would be dissipated quite a bit by the presence of a Barrier Idol. Even things like Power Throw, Shell Surf, Song of the Sea, absorbing some of that damage would be great to have. But knowing Moon, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of something like a Hellfire or even a Staff of the Masters. But we'll have to see what he eventually decides for, as he's going to be saving up some gold, sitting at 400 now, but he'll be banking more gold, and if we see him pick up a refreshing ornament anytime soon here, you can bank on him finishing up his Barrier Idol.
Of course. Level 11 Fade now hidden in the Hellborn Woods. I think he's just scouting around, didn't find anyone, decided to go quick farm afterwards. He didn't really stay in his ulti for him too long.
Yeah, he had about 12 seconds left on it there. Minotaur is going to come in and stun down this triple stack with the assistance of Haxer and putting out that DPS. Nice job by the Complexity squad to clean that one up, and Hax boosts his farm to 442 GPM, now finding himself quite ahead. Looks like Moonmeander might be in a little bit of trouble. As tanky as he is, Dark Lady is in there. A red Emerald Lightning going to be coming out as well, and 3 heroes do combine on the Moon to end him. The ultimate warrior streak goes down, and Limp gets credit on Bubbles. That's going to be very nice for him to complement that portal key. He's about halfway to his push staff if he's going that route.
Manly 1v5 coming out there from Moonmeander.
Well, Moon, he's known to maybe do a little bit of overextension. He goes deep, he goes all in, and being as tanky as he is, he thought he might have been able to get a pick off.
And he had a haster, and I think that guy is permanently hasted. I don't know how he hacked the game, but
he's like a Monkey King who, even if he doesn't have a haster, and he's pretty much hasted because that hero is just so mobile. I hate that hero.
Yeah, except, you know, in this case, he is somehow conjuring every single rune spawn. Every other rune spawn to just have a haster and be waiting for him. I have no idea what's up with that luck, but he's making use of them really, really hard.
That's true. Bubbles actually picks up a Bound Eye now. So Limp going that route with his excess of gold after killing Moonmeander. Instead of saving up for that push staff, instead gets the counter warding going on, and he's going to spy Fade. Fade must see that. The Song of the Sea comes in right there. Wrath of the Pharaoh is in fact going to miss, so both teams expending some of their cooldowns are going to back off for now. Shrunken Head also finished on Magebane during this time. Bryce, you with me?
By accident. Not sure what quite happened. I had to hit the button.
Skype.
Good. All sorts of problems popping up. It was actually the hard button on the edge of the microphone, too.
Oh.
My hands did not even touch it, so...
It happens every once in a while. Portal Key, of course, has been picked up by B-Kid on the Fade, as well as now one on Legionnaire. So Minet's going to be able to use that in addition to his Steam Boots, his Mystic Vestments, and, of course, that Helm of the Black Legion. So get into those fights. And Fade has also picked up a Mighty Blade, so might be looking to go for a Shrunken Head. Moonmander might be in a little bit of trouble as the invisible bubbles on top of him. Out comes the Kelp Field. In comes Legionnaire with the ultimate. The Plague out bouncing around between a few players, but TP support is coming in. Wrath of the Pharaoh applied onto Legionnaire. Decapitation, though. And that ancient Egyptian head rolling on the ground. A huge Burning Shadows catching 3 players, and down they go. Double tap coming out for Beacon. Haxorn picks up one as well. Looks like Bubbles is going to be able to escape, but Luna not so lucky. She's going to fall. A 1-for-4 exchange there. Complexity gets the better end of that bargain, and now they turn their sights to the big guy. Concord going to be going down.
Sort of nasty there as well. You got to think about it. You got those 3 people in the stun. Mana burned them right after. Mage Bane's Mana Burn on top, and the 2 of them combined left those heroes, especially after the early initiation, pretty much sapped, leaving that Mage Bane ulti to just do huge work. Yeah, actually, did he? Yeah, he did use it, of course. I could swear I saw that go off, and yeah, it did. So,
Limp has resurrected now, and he's going to be trying to get back. Actually, Limp never died. Luna has resurrected, but already the Concord does go down, and Token of Life in Haxorn's hands, in addition to another 2,000 gold. So he's going to be working toward another big item, something like possibly a Geometer's Bane. We'll have to see what he does, in fact, pick up. And tdM down 12,000 gold and 10,000 experience at this point. What can they do to get themselves back into this game?
I know you often ask me this question, and there are times where I have an answer, but this is another one of those cases where I just have to say they can't. At this point, you know, Complexity has all of the tools and resources they need to win this game. It comes down to them screwing up, tdM being patient, taking advantage of the game, maybe picking off Mage Bane somehow at the start of the fight, but that route is no longer available to them. Look at this. I mean, he has the token. And you're looking at a hero that's already tough to lock down, already a hero that's already hard to kill, and put the token on top of it. Just, there's no way. Meanwhile...
Wrath of the Pharaoh coming in there, yeah. And he puts up the Mummy Wall. Kelpfield applied onto just Pharaoh, though. But Plague Rider's still going to be going down. Zai bites the dust. Haxorn leads the charge. A nice Burning Shadow's going to come out and catch... it looks like Insania, and Insania alone. There was a portal key used by Minuts. Legionnaire is going to be able to escape without taking a fall there. But with 2 players down, Complexity barreling down this middle lane, they're going to want to take out this tower and maybe even look for a Rax.
Yeah, and we're not looking at any buyback here on this Plague Rider, down for another 25 seconds. I think they can sort of take this Rax with impunity. Yeah. At least the tower, but...
Well, Glyph of Fortification activated right there. Pharaoh taking a lot of damage in the front lines, but he does have that regeneration rune bottled up as he does use it right there. I saw that turret go down. Actually, a nice keg stun, but it's avoided. Legionnaire going to go in, lands a big taunt, trying to get that engineer down, but the Void Tile's been doing so much. We're getting huge Burning Shadows, as well as the follow-up from Haxorn, and GGs are coming out from tdM. That was a decisive team fight. A buyback coming up from Limp on that Bubbles, and the Plague bouncing around in the background, but absolutely doing nothing. Quad kill comes out for Haxorn, and defeat comes out.
Man, he was so close to that Annihilation. One hit off. They wind up dropping him, taking out that token. Oh, there he got it.
Yeah, he gets it there, but Complexity takes the first game in dominating fashion over tdM. They've lost for the past 2 weekends in a row in the HoN Tour qualifiers, taken 4th place at the hands of tdM, ending what seemed to be an immortal streak for a few months. And then the following weekend in Jönköping, Sweden at DreamHack Winter, tdM did defeat Complexity in the finals. But is this the time for Complexity to make a comeback and say, hey, you guys don't have our number just yet? We'll have to find out. It's been Complexity Casting. Me, your casting host and co-caster, Bryce. Well, we're going to be going off to Game 2 to see if Complexity can secure this series or if tdM brings it back to Game 3. We'll check it out there. Bryce, any final words before we take a quick break and get the next game set up?
Nope, just really impressed with the draft of complexity of that game. They look like a revitalized team. I felt like every angle I looked at, they just had more and more synergy within their own lineup. Even going there to the last point we were talking about between the the Fade and the Mage Bane too. I mean, there's so many angles in which their team worked so well together and worked so well against what tdM had drafted in that game. So I'm hoping to see tdM assess their mistakes and go back into game 2 strong.
All right, guys, we're going to take a very quick break and get the next game set up. In the meantime, you can check out our Twitch TVs at twitch.tv/complexityhon. Make sure to follow that one as well as twitch.tv/domainofpain. That's where you can find Bryce playing his Heroes of Newerth, doing his streaming thing, and as well casting this game over there. And make sure to check me out on Twitter at BeefPotPie1, and of course Complexity Gaming at Complexity Live on Twitter, and the website with all of our HoN Tour coverage at ComplexityGaming.com. HoN's on the front page. Check that one out, guys. We'll be right back with Game 2. Don't go anywhere.